These are the gunmen the world knows as the Janjaweed, accused of mass rape and murder in Darfur. Until now, their bases have never been seen by the outside world. We traveled hundreds of miles through hostile territory to meet them. The United Nations wants their senior commander investigated for war crimes. This is Commander محمد حمدان. The Sudanese government claims it doesn't back the Janjaweed, but these fighters told me the government gave them their weapons. Many were made in China. You can see here that the mortars actually have Chinese symbols on them. They're Chinese made. We'd arrived as they considered a decision that could affect the whole Darfur conflict, whether to turn their guns on the government. I said, will you fight them? And he said, we will fight them till Judgment Day. Darfur is a part of Sudan that its government doesn't want people to visit. We'd chartered a plane to get there. We're just crossing the border into Darfur from the south of Sudan. The only access point that the Sudanese government in Khartoum doesn't have control over. No one knows how many hundreds of thousands have died in Darfur during 5 years of war. Sudan's people are a mix of Arabs and Africans, but it's those of Arab descent who hold most power. The killing began when Darfur's Africans rebelled, demanding a greater say in government. Arab fighters, the Janjaweed, took up arms against the rebels and drove millions from their homes. I'd heard there was a chance some of the Janjaweed would meet us. Our pilots planned to land in a clearing in the scrub. If I'm honest, I would have to admit that I'm really, really worried. We have absolutely no way of knowing whether this strip of land is usable for landing. My contacts were local Arabs who'd agreed to take us to a key Janjaweed base. It meant a 300-mile drive across southern Darfur. Our guides carried weapons because of the war and because of bandits. We soon saw the first consequences of the conflict. We're just coming up to the first displaced people's camp that we've encountered so far on our journey west. I think these are the images that people really associate with Darfur. A tribal leader wanted to show me around the camp. It opened just 4 months ago. This is the only water tank for this entire camp for 8,000 people. This camp is... They're telling us that this camp is actually full to capacity. So when they did the last count on the 24th of December, it was at 8,000, but they've had to keep taking people in, even though there's nowhere to put them. It's just incredible to me that 5 years on from the beginning of this conflict, that there is still the capacity for new camps, that people are still being forced out of their homes. This is Fatma. She just fled with her family from their home 40 miles away. She said one afternoon men rode into their village shooting. They killed 8 people, and those who could ran away. What was your life like before the trouble started? She says their life used to be so good. They lived in brick houses. She said they had donkeys and livestock, and she said we had a means of living, and now we're here under borrowed matting, waiting for handouts. This was the second time she'd been forced to flee her home. She said that there are only so many times that you can gather up the hope to start again. And this time she said, this is the last time they want to die here, if they can't go home. Who do you think is responsible for this? She didn't want to say in the beginning, but in the end she said that it was Arabs, that they came together and rode into their town and stole their livestock and burnt the village. These stories of Janjaweed attacks have been repeated for 5 years. The United Nations accuses the Sudanese government of being behind the Janjaweed and of helping organize the violence. The government denies this. One reason I wanted to meet the Janjaweed was to find out if the government was telling the truth. We've been traveling all day and we're still not even at the halfway point where we're going to spend the night. And now we've got a flat tire. That's our armed guard. He'd initially started digging with all the bullets in the cartridge in the gun. And then halfway through it was pointed out to him that perhaps wasn't such a good idea